use it. Just get on the bed and look at it and keep it plugged in.
They have that. They only have this bit of battery.
That's what I'm saying. Plug it in and look at it on the bed.
How long I'm playing it and die? Let's see how much left. Look a little bit down lower.
It's too loud. Okay. But I need you to sit over there. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the ECC11 strategy work group training. That's too loud.
You just told me.
It's too loud. I wish you'd go up there on the bed, and that way I can hear myself think.
Go over there.
Go over there. And plug it up so the battery won't die. There you go. All right, I'm back. So we are going to get started in about 1 minute, guys. Thanks for hopping on. Okay, everyone, welcome to the ECC11 strategy training work group. My name is Theresa Webb, and thanks for hopping on. How many people do we have? Who's new today? If you're new to the vibrata or either the ECC11, put a 111 in the chat, please. Rashad, you're new. Good evening, David. Good evening, Bhavna. I hope I didn't mess that up too bad. Good evening and welcome, Philosophies. Anyone else new to ECC11 or vibrata? Put a 111 in the chat, please. Emma, welcome. I'm kind of new. I was on last night, but I was really tired. That's fine. That is fine. Repetition is what makes you good. I am Theresa Webb. This is Dr. Kathy's Zoom, but I am Theresa Webb. All right. Well, welcome, Carolyn. So welcome everyone that's new. What we're going to do is, so here's another message. What we're going to do is, I'll just give you a little background for those folks that are new about myself. Hello. I knew you meant hello. But anyway, just to give you a little bit of background about myself, I've been a student of Dr. Kathy's for 2 years. Actually, it'd be 2 years the 1st of May. And she's the only educator that I have followed. And the reason that I have stuck with Dr. Kathy is because she just made something that was complex very simple. Simple as that. Her strategy and the way she communicated her strategy was so simple that I could follow it and make money from it. So that was enough for me to just stay with her. And I've continuously made money with her for the last 2 years. Elon, are you okay? What's wrong? Excuse me just a second. I'm going to have to put you on mute for a second. What's wrong? Sorry about that, guys. Sorry about that. I had to tend to my 4-year-old granddaughter. All right. See, what was I saying? Yeah, so I've stuck with her, and she's the only educator that I have followed. With that being said, what I like to do is just go ahead. We have quite a number of new people on board, so we'll just go over the settings for the vibrata, and then we will also go over the indicators. So one of the first things that I do before I start trading is I go to, can you see my screen? I want to make sure you can see my screen. Can somebody let me know if you can see my screen? The chart, the web analyzer. Okay, perfect. One of the first thing I do is go to forexfactory.com. And what I'm looking for when I go there is impact news. And those are red and green folders. And usually you'll just see pairs and then you'll see folders by those pairs. And what we're looking for to see it is if in fact the news will move the market. Now I've already been there for this session and there's no news this evening. The next place I go is finviz.com to see which pairs, which forex pairs are strong, are the strongest. Um, and from that point, I usually will trade look to see if the market's moving in the strongest pairs. So what we're going to do is go over the settings to make sure that your web analyzer is set properly. So oftentimes when you're new to vibrata, when you look at the strategy, if you follow my cursor, when you look at strategy, sometimes Dr. Kathy's strategy is not here. If that is the case, you're going to go click on the red line, and then a pop-up window will appear, which is the web analyzer setting. Now I'm going to share this with you so you can see it. Okay, you should be able to see it now. What you'll do is scroll down to where it says pick a strategy. Then there's a drop down box. If you just click on that, you will find that Dr. Kathy's ECC11 strategy is the first strategy. So just click on it. and then save for mobile Safari desktop. And then where it says turn cha-ching on or off, click on and you'll get alerted. And then go up to save settings and reload. And you should have Dr. Kathy's strategy. And I just need to get back to it. There it is. You should have Dr. Kathy's strategy on your screen. Now, what I'll usually do is look at the settings, at the time frames at the top right under vibrata, because that's how we trade. We trade by time frames. For the M5 time frame, if you receive a trade alert for the M5 time frame, you're only, the way the algorithm is set, you're only going to be able to get 3 to 5 pips from that trade alert. So I mean, if 3 to 5 pips is okay for you, you can keep that. So you can keep the check, you can keep it checked. But I personally deselect it because for the 15-minute time frame on up, the algorithm is set for if you receive a trade alert for those time frames, the higher time frames, you will be able to get 10 pips from that alert. Now, all these time frames mean is that each candle represents, 5 minutes, 15 minutes, or an hour, etc. Um, Under the time frames, you will find that these are where your alerts come in. Now, if in fact you see a red bar to the left, that means that the alert is a sale. If you see a green or blue alert to the left, that means that the trade alert is a buy. As you can see, when you look at your candles, your red candles are for selling. Those are your sell candles, and your blue candles are buy candles. Looking to the left of your window, your alerts, you will see trade ideas. And LP is the London payout. If you click on LP, you will find, this is where you'll find any alert, London payout alert that Dr. Kathy has provided, as well as Kevin Serrano. Now, as you know, now the London payout is comes with the purchase of the web analyzer, and I think it's like 30, maybe $31 or something like that. But you're going to get, and that's a month, but you're going to get more than your 30 some dollars worth. Because every night at 11:30, Dr. Kathy puts in pending trades for indices. And usually those indices take profit before you wake up for her 3 o'clock session. Those indices, you should trade a zero point zero 0.01 lot size, but out, I mean, you're going to make 20, $30 just from those trades. And you times that times 5 days out of the week, and then times 4 times a week. I mean, you're looking at somewhere around $500 to $600. So it's well worth the $30 to get the London payout. And she has a 90 to 94% accuracy rating in terms of winning trades on the with the London payout. So, it's definitely worth your money. Closing this particular window, below you will find 4 buttons. The first button is where you receive trade alerts for Forex pairs. The second one is trade alerts for Bitcoin. The third one is trade alerts for indices, US 30, GER 30, etc. The fourth one is trade alerts for metals, gold, silver. Does the London payout now part of the web analyzer or still separate? It's my understanding it's now a part of the web analyzer. So when you purchase the web analyzer as an add-on, it actually says London payout. So instead of just paying for the web analyzer at 21 or $22 and then, adding on the London payout separate is now combined. Does that answer your question, David? So your friend purchased 2 days ago and it was separate? Okay. Well, again, that's what I heard. So I guess if you really want to know, you can go to the shopping cart and see what happens. If you don't have it, you can go to the shopping cart and see if it's combined. It says it's separate? Okay. What's an extra add-on? The London payout is extra add-on from the web analyzer? I know it used to be that way, but I thought that it had combined. Okay, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. So, obviously, the majority says that it's still separate, so it is still separate. The web analyzer is $21, I think, or $22, and the London payout is an additional $10. It's still $30. Okay. All right. Moving right along. We want to make sure that your settings are correct for the Ichimoku cloud. As you know, the ECC11, you know Dr. Kathy's story and why why she named this particular strategy ECC11. It is the Ichimoku cloud, and that is a Japanese term, and it means at one glance. And what that means is you can pretty much tell the trend of the cloud. You can pretty much tell the trend of the trade by looking at the cloud. So let's look at your settings because oftentimes when you're new to Vibrata, your settings may be 92652 or something of that nature. But let's make sure if they're not 613, 2613, this is what they should be. This is a scalping strategy. If they're not, let me show you how to change them. If you'll move over, where's the settings? Oh, okay. So if you see the little wheel to the right of your settings, you just click on that. And then you'll click on inputs. And the conversion line, all you have to do is just click on the box, change it to 6 if it's 9, change it from 26 to 13, just by clicking on the box. Okay. Just click on the box. The lagging span should be 26. Displacement is 13. Go to defaults, save as default, and then go to style because oftentimes the baseline and the conversion line is switched. So your conversion line should be red, and it's recommended that you change the thickness if you choose on your conversion line. You just want to make sure that you can see it. Your baseline is blue. So you can click on that, change the color to blue, and you can also change the thickness of the blue line if you choose. The lagging span is green, so therefore I just highly recommend making your lagging span as thick as possible. And that's what I've done here. Go to defaults, save as default, click OK. If in fact you have arrows on your screen, just click on the screen and those arrows will go away. And now you have the proper settings for the ECC11 strategy. So now let's talk about the indicators. As I said before, the purple shaded area here is the cloud. And Ichimoku is a Japanese term that means at one glance, and that means you can take a look at the cloud and pretty much tell what the trend is. You can see here this was a downward trend earlier today. The outlines of the cloud right here, the green and the red line. I'm sure that when you went through series, I know everybody's gone through the academy, series 1 through 400 at least. They talked about support and resistance. These are your support and resistance lines here. We also have the indicators, which is the Chiku span. The Chiku span, some educators refer to it as the lagging line, this green line. But Dr. Kathy refers to it as the money line, and I want to tell you that money line is everything because it is my number one dominant indicator. And the reason is because it is the first indication of which way price is going. The candle follows the money line. Now the Tenkan-sen is the red line, and we refer to it as a signal line. And it kind of gives you a signal as to which way the candle is going to move. And oftentimes you'll see it like pushing the candle up or down or sideways or what have you. The Kenjin-sen is the stop loss line. We refer to it as a stop loss line. So if you don't know how to set your stop loss, you can actually take your crosshair, put it at the end of your Kenjin-sen or your stop loss line, look to the right, and whatever that price is, you can use that price for your stop loss. In this instance, it's 1.71619. Now, that is one option that you can use to determine a stop loss. Another one is I've heard Dr. Kathy say for 10 pips, you can do a 30 pip stop loss. Also, another option is to go to babypips.com and just use that calculator. I think they'll ask you for your capital, and then it'll ask for your risk, and then it'll do the calculations for you. So we do recommend 1 to 3% for every $100. So just put that information in there, and it'll calculate your stop loss and how much that stop loss, how much money could be risked by using that stop loss. So you decide whatever works for you. Okay, see now, the way this algorithm is set, anytime the red line is above the blue line, above the cloud, red to blue line, okay, price is buying. Anytime the red line is below the blue line, below the cloud, price is selling. That's a strong sell. And anytime the red line is above the blue line, above the cloud, that is a strong buy. Now, anytime you see it, whether it's above or below the cloud, anytime you see the red line above the blue line, price is buying. And anytime you see the red line below the blue line, price is selling. Anytime you see the red line cross above or below the blue line, like right here, if you follow my cursor, you can see that the red line crossed above the blue line. You can get 10 pips out of that move. All right. So whether it's above it or below it, if you catch the cross and make sure it fully crosses, because sometimes I've seen it cross and actually go back into the blue line. So make sure it truly crosses. And when that happens, you can get 10 pips from that move. Okay. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. So either I'm a good explainer or you guys are just quiet. Um, just want to talk about. Let me mute someone out. Okay. All right.
Excuse me, Theresa, I have a question.
Okay.
Okay, you see that where the red line, it crosses over the blue at the end. It crosses over the blue and then it comes down. Would that be a sell? Because the cloud looks like it's going up.
Yeah, it's actually pulling back. So you could actually, if you choose to trade to pull back, you can. You can actually get 10 pips from that. If that's what you choose to do. I don't recommend it for new members. I mean, to be honest with you, I recommend that new members trade above and below the cloud. And that's the way I started. And if you can learn that, you can really make good money trading above and below the cloud. That's how I learned how to trade.
I agree with you. I was just wondering what that means.
That
Because
means,
you could,
yeah,
hmm?
it means it's a pullback. Price is going.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay, thanks.
And you can see the indentation in the cloud right here.
Right,
You see how it was going down?
yes,
There's that indentation. Okay, see how price is just, I mean, it did the TK cross,
yes.
selling, it's going down. And then as you can see, it's going to go back up. Now, when the cloud is thin like this,
Hmm.
that's clearly an indication that price there could be a trend change, because sometimes when the cloud is thin, it's easy for price to go through the cloud. But what could very well happen is that the price will hit the support line
Hmm.
and bounce off of it and come back up, as the cloud has indicated here.
Right,
That's what I'm thinking will happen. I'm thinking it'll
okay,
come with the support line, bounce off of it, and um, come to the upside.
okay,
Okay.
okay, thanks.
Uh-huh. Do we enter as soon as the cross happens or wait for any candles to form? Well, I think you should always wait for the candle to form. The candle is fully formed at 12 minutes. So, I think you should. Now, if it's somewhere around 10 minutes, I would go ahead and hop in if it were me. But yeah, you want to make sure your candle is fully formed. I definitely wouldn't hop in when it's like at 14 minutes or 13 minutes. But the fact of the matter really is that you're really going to get the 10 pips from it. So it's your call, but I usually wait until my candle is formed. Does that answer your question? Is there any way in ECC11 to get more than 10 pips? ECC11 is designed. Anytime you take an alert from ECC11, you're going to get 10 pips. Is there a chance that you can get more? Yes. But it's important that you also know how to analyze the chart to be able to get more. But as I've heard Dr. Kathy say, ECC11 is only going to guarantee you 10 pips. So, but yes, you can get more. Does that answer your question, Sheena? Okay. Okay. Let me see. I forgot what I was talking about. Um, Okay, so what we're going to do is, I think I gave you information on the indicators. I talked about the red line crossing the blue line. I talked about the cloud. So what we're going to do is, I'm just going to show you once I receive an alert what I do. Okay, like we're going to use AUDJPY as an example. The first thing I do is look to see if in fact the alert is within the first 5 minutes. And the reason, and that's just what I choose to do, because there's so many, in the run of a day, you receive so many alerts that I would just rather, look to see if it's in the first 5 minutes and go ahead and pursue the trade at that point. If it's within the first 5 minutes, I can clearly see that this particular trade is a sale. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look to see if my red line is below the blue line. Then I'm going to go to my horizontal line, and I'm going to go to my trend line and click on my horizontal line. And then I'm going to place it anywhere. I'm just going to click anywhere on the chart and the horizontal line will appear. Then I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to type in the called at price. Oh, I forgot to change the first thing you want to do is change the chart. The first thing you want to do is click on the pair and change it to the right pair, change it to the right market. So then, of course, you're going to look to see if 5 minutes have passed. You'll go to your trend line, click on your horizontal line, click anywhere on the chart, go to settings, and then you're going to type in the called at price, which for AUDJPY is 67.894. And then click OK. And as you can see, the horizontal line makes the necessary adjustment to the called at price. Then I'm going to go to the trend line again, click on the horizontal line, click anywhere on the chart, go to settings, and I'm going to type in my take profit. Now, since this is a sale, I'm going to subtract 10 from the called at price. And I'm going to subtract 10 from the first two. Since this is a JPY pair, I'm going to subtract 10 from the first two numbers to the right of the decimal. So my take profit will be 67.794. Then I'm going to click OK. And as you can see, the adjustment has been made. Now, sometimes you may need to know what actual candle price was called on. If that is the case, I don't do this very often. Let me see, there's a question. Okay. I don't do this a lot, but if you choose to, you can go to your trend line, click on your vertical line, click anywhere on the chart, look to see what the local time was, look to see what the time was in which the trade was called. And it was called at 10 o'clock. So 10 o'clock is 2200, is that right? So it looks like price was called on that candle. There. So with that being said, AUDJPY, am I looking at the right one? Wait a minute. No, it was called at 9 o'clock. You have to make sure you're looking at the right one. So that would be 21. Wait a minute. Yeah, 9 o'clock. That would be 2100. Okay. So it was price was called on that candle. And as you can see, it really hasn't taken profit. This was a sale. So well, it may have taken profit here because it threw a wick there. But as you know, price does retrace it and does its correction. So this is not a trade that I would get in, but I'm just showing you this to let you know that this is, I think that when you can go ahead and use the horizontal lines to let you know when to get in a trade and when your trade is going to take profit, I think it just makes it a lot easier when you're new. So the first thing I would do, like say for instance, if in fact price was, since this is a sale, price would be coming from this way. And as soon, this is your called at price, and as soon as my candle would get about right to here, crossing over that line, of course, I would look to see how much time is left on my candle. Well, follow my cursor. This is this 11:07. This is the timer for the current candle. So I would want to make sure that, my current candle with the timer is at least at 12 minutes. All right. I would still get in 11, 10 minutes. I would probably still get in. But one of the things I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure that the red line, because this is a sale, I want to make sure the red line is below the blue line. Then I want to make sure I'm going to go to my 5-minute candle to make sure that it's a red candle and to make sure the red line is below the blue line. And then I'm going to go to my 1-minute candle. I'm going to make sure the candle is a sale candle, which is a red candle. And I'm going to make sure that my red line is below my blue line. If everything lines up, then I'm going to go ahead and get in the trade. Is that clear? And are there any questions? I struggle to calculate 10 pips when you have 4 to 5 digits after the decimal. Well, your fifth number is your pipette. You're going to, like, we'll just look at EUR/GBP. This number, this one, that's your pipette. 69 is your you add or subtract 10 from the third and fourth number. Okay. And then you just carry your pipette. Some people say don't worry about some. I've heard some educators say don't worry about the pipette, but to me, the pipette is money, and I don't want to leave anything on the table if I don't have to. So I'm gonna bring it with me. So in other words, if this is a sale, well then I'm going to subtract 10 from 69. So my take profit is going to be 87.59.1. I'm gonna bring the 1 with me. If it's a buy, it's going to be 87.79.1. Does that help you? Does that help, Bahavna?
I'm not even using it.
Thank you.
That's not the chair.
For JPY, calculating pips for JPY. You know, I'm really not in the calculating pips business because I'm gonna tell you, I use a ruler, I cheat, or I use a crosshair, I cheat. It tells me how many pips it is. But anyway, for JPY, you want it like I'm using AUD JPY as an example. So I'm going to subtract 10 since this is a sale from 89. So my take profit is going to be 67.794. I'm going to bring the pipette with me. If it was a buy, it'd be 67.994. Taking the pipette with me. Make sense? Is that clear? How can you trade the money line? Well, I'm going to tell you how I trade the money line.
You have to wonder why Michael Jordan, so a popular player in our time, would be in effect driven out of professional basketball.
I am trying to get Hezekiah muted. Would you please mute yourself, please? Okay, got that cleared away. Okay, let me go with the money line first. Now, here's a good example right here. Say for instance, you wanted to know how many pips you can get from the money line. Actually, what I do is I look to the left, to the immediate left to see where my next low is. And when I look to the immediate left, my next low is going to be right here. It's going to go up just a little bit, and then it's going to come back down to here. Just follow my cursor. All right. So what I do is look to the left, and I apply that information to the right so that I know that price is going to continue to sell to about right here. So I look to the left, to my immediate left, to catch my next, find out what my next low is. I know that when price gets about here, it's going to pull back just a little bit, but I also know it's going to come back down. So I would mark my next low right here. And that's where I set my take profit. If I wanted to know how many pips it was, I go to my ruler and I would bring it down to here. And that would be 10 pips. So what you do is you kind of look to the left and apply it towards the right. So price is going to come down to here. Is that clear? Philastas? Okay.
Excuse me, Theresa.
Yes.
The low that you were just talking about on the money line. No, you see, once you get to that particular point, then you go up to that first line to the left.
First one.
Yeah.
And then from there, you said you get your lowest low, correct?
Yes, right here.
Right.
I know this is pretty much going to be my first lowest low. And I know there's going to be a little bit of consolidation here because price is going sideways and it's going up a little bit. So it's going to be a little bit of a pullback. But I also know it's going to come right back down. So if it were me, my next lowest low is going to be right here.
Okay. Is it just because of that, the way it is pointing down, that tip.
Right here?
No, like when you made it to your line, and then as you slid your yes down toward this tip right there.
Yeah. And the reason is because I can see that it's going back up. See, when I continue to look to the left, what happens? Price goes back up.
Okay. Oh, I see that. Thank you.
Okay, and see, you apply it like this. You to the right, you're going to bring price down to here, right there, and then you know it's going to go back up that one to here.
Okay.
I would draw it, but I draw so terribly. Okay. Can you review again timing, when to enter and exit a trade? I'm able to calculate my take profit and stop loss from called at price, but I don't fully understand how to watch the candlesticks to enter the trade. Okay. Sheeta. All right. If I understand your question correctly, when you're looking at when it's time to enter a trade, of course, because you know how to set your horizontal line at your call at price, your candlestick is going to be crossing over here. My suggestion is to make sure, of course, if it's selling, of course you want it to be a red candle, but I want you to look over to the right at your timer to make sure that your candle is fully formed. So this is a 15-minute time frame. Of course, immediately your candle's going to go to 14 minutes and so many odd seconds. Then it's going to go to 13. Once it gets to around 12 minutes, your candle, it has warmed up, is fully formed. And at that point, your red line should be below your blue line. And then you're going to go to the 5-minute time frame and look for the same thing. You're going to look for a red candle. You're going to look for the red line to be below the blue line. You're going to go to the 1 minute, same thing. You're looking for a red candle, red line below the blue line. And then if everything lines up, you can take the trade. You're going to exit the trade when it hits take profit. So did I answer your question? Sheeta.
Okay,
Um,
hello.
Sheeta, could you let me know if I answered your question?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, you answered it. I was trying to get clarification regarding the candlestick as it's crossing the called at price.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm pretty much that was kind of the gray area for me because I know I look for it to take like to hit the take profit line, but I wasn't sure when to enter the trade once I set my call at price. So you went over confirming whether it's a sell or a buy by looking at each time frame. I understand that part.
Mm-hmm. So but my point is this, if your candle is at your call to at price line
Mm-hmm.
and it's at 12 minutes, it's going to go into that area.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I always wait until it crosses over.
That's
But
what I was getting at because I hadn't
yeah,
I was under the impression that you just market execution when you get it and then you just set your take profit and stop loss.
that is true.
Uh,
But sometimes you can do, you mean that you mean that you were under the impression that when you get your alert, you go ahead and do market execution. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, not right when you get it, because you do want to analyze to confirm it.
Uh-huh.
But for the most part, yes, that's what I was under the impression that you had to do.
Yeah. Just like I said, I make sure that, it's crossed the candle has crossed that price line. I'm not concerned about that little bit of because I would rather for it to cross the price line than for it not to cross it and go in another direction.
So that essentially would be a good rule of thumb for confirming when to enter it, in addition to checking the time frame.
Yes, in addition to checking the timer for your candle.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, that clarified a lot. I've been so used to doing the buy stops and stuff, getting up in the morning with her, that I hadn't. Yeah. Okay, that clarified a lot.
Okay. All right. Great.
Thank you.
Teresa?
Yes.
Okay, after doing all the analyzing and waiting for the candle to fully form, what if all of that takes 6 minutes?
It's not going to take 6 minutes.
Okay.
It's on. It really
because when I'm doing the call, I remember you say, I keep hearing you say 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes.
3 to 5 minutes for what?
When you look at the call out price, when you look at that in that area, you make sure it doesn't go beyond 5 minutes. You say if it goes beyond 5 minutes, then you usually don't take the trade.
Right. Yeah. And I think that's just me, though. I mean, that's just what I do.
Well, I do what you do. I come on here every night for weeks now to do what you do.
But yeah, that's what I do. I try to. In other words, what I'm saying is that as long as the trade alert is within the first 5 minutes, I'm gonna go ahead and analyze it. I mean, by the time I finish analyzing it, it may be beyond the 5 minutes, but I'm not going to try to analyze it if it's been 10 minutes.
Okay.
And the alarm has the alert has come and it's been 10 minutes long.
Okay.
Bother with the trade.
Okay.
Not unless the only time I will do that if it's one of my favorite pairs.
Okay.
If it's one of my, because I only have a few pairs that are my favorite pairs. If it's one of my favorite pairs, I might see if there's a chance for me to get in.
Okay.
But otherwise, there's so many pairs called in the run of a day. I'm just moving on to the next one.
Yes, there are a lot of pairs during the day.
Yes, it is.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, Francisca. Wait a minute, let me see. I want to make sure I'm not missing anybody's question. Blue line cross. Okay, so blue line cross below red under this cloud and blue candle formed. Is that a buy? Blue line cross below the red under the cloud and blue candle formed. Is that a buy? No, it's a sell. If the red line is below the blue line, price is selling. If the red line is above the blue line, price is buying. So am I answering your question, Velocities? iPad? Okay, great. Okay, Francisca, does it mean you can only enter the trade on the time frame that the trade is called? Time frame that the trade is called. Well, I enter my trades on the 15-minute time frame. Because I'm looking for 10 pips. Now, if you can enter on the 5-minute time frame if you like, but you only can get 3 to 5 pips. So it's up to you. So if you looking at trades on the 5-minute, if you're taking trades on the 5-minute time frame, you might as well, of course, it's only reasonable to enter on the 5-minute time frame, but you're only going to get 3 to 5 pips. I trade on the 15-minute time frame, and I enter on the 15-minute time frame for 10 pips. So did that answer your question, Francisca? I just wanted to make sure I understood you correctly. Okay, great. Let me see. Make sure I got everybody's question. Okay, I think I did. Just a few recommendations. I know a lot of you are new and you're probably still in demo. Have a demo. You've got probably a demo account that probably has about $10,000 or more in Monopoly money. In that account, trade as much as you can so that you can get comfortable buying, selling, setting your stop loss, and taking your profit. But I do recommend before you decide to go live to get another demo account. And say, for instance, if you want to start trading at $500 live, have that demo account set up at $500 if you can, 500 Monopoly money, and trade it like it's 250, and trade one trade at a time. And in other words, trade until that trade put one trade in until that trade takes profit. And then once that trade takes profit, then you can trade again, because that'll get you closer to trading like you're trading your live account. So that's just a recommendation, because see, I was one of those type of people that got started with Dr. Kathy, and Dr. Kathy calls out a lot of trades in the run of a day, and this Webb analyzer is like Dr. Kathy calling out a trade. So if you take all of those trades on one account, that's the quickest way to blow your account, and you don't want to do that when you're trading live. So, my recommendation is for you to just try, with, if you're trading, just like I said, if you're going to put $500 in a live account, put it in a demo account first. Monopoly money, that is. Trade it like it's 250, and then trade one trade at a time. And that'll get you closer to trading and make you more comfortable when you're trading your actual live account. Makes sense? Okay, let me see. Any other questions? You've got about 4 minutes. Anything you need me to review? This is a space where nobody gets left behind.
Can you look for a trade for a pair for us, or is it too late?
Sure. Which one? Oh, you just want me to scan and look for something?
Yes. Thanks.
I'll try to. Oops, wrong chart. Oh my goodness, US 30 is selling. It's not supposed to be doing that. I needed to go back up. Anyway, moving on.
Excuse me, Teresa, while you're looking, can I ask you a question?
Sure, go ahead.
All right. I know you'll be getting on tomorrow night. Is that correct?
Is tomorrow, what's today, Wednesday? Yes.
Wednesday.
Mm-hmm.
So is it possible tomorrow, let's say while you're doing the training, if by chance we get a 15-minute alert, is it possible you could mark that one up as a live trade, and maybe that would be a lot better? Is that
Sure. Yeah. The interesting part about it is we don't get a lot of alerts during this time frame. I think we probably got one during this time frame. Um, but sometimes, I mean, we can go the whole time period and there's no alert. But definitely, if we get one, I'll definitely go through it.
thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm still looking for something to be moving here. Okay, GBP JPY is moving a little bit, but it looks like it's consolidating. I don't think so. I don't think there's a way to get the cha-ching noise on the mobile. If it is, if somebody is aware of it on your mobile, let us know. But I don't think it is. When Dr. K says stop loss profit in a buy trade, are you adding or subtracting from the stop loss? When Dr. K says move your stop loss up in profit in a buy trade, are you adding or subtracting from the stop loss? Well, when you put a stop loss in for a buy, you're subtracting. So if you're moving your stop loss up in profit, well, you're moving it up in profit. So at least you're moving it beyond your entry price if you're in profit. So typically, she's probably meaning once you get 5 pips in profit, if it's only for 10 pips, once you get 5 pips in profit, move your stop loss in profit, or either at least move your stop loss a little bit above your entry price. Am I making sense to you? Am I answering your question? Okay, okay, good. And Sheena, I'm not aware of a way to get the cha-ching noise on the mobile at all. Okay. Um, I'm sorry I wasn't able to see anything moving for you guys tonight. And tomorrow we'll definitely, if we get a cha-ching, even if I'm in the middle of, going through the settings talking about the indicators, I'll definitely, just stop what I'm doing and show you how to, how I go about a trade once I can hear the cha-ching. I hope you got some value out of this session today. And happy trading. Don't forget Dr. Kathy gives our pending trades at 11:30. And let's support her on her 3 o'clock session in the mornings as well as 9:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So thanks everybody for hopping on. And just like I said, I hope you got some value from this session. Appreciate you guys. See you tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you. Thank
welcome.
you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
You're welcome.